person, you don't go against it right away. You never should do that. Because if you go against something they like, they're out the door. And they'll never come back. Okay? This happened one time, and I won't tell the place because then you know some of these people. But what happened was 2 Matajis came to a program. Okay? I won't tell the person, but I'll tell where. Harrisburg program. 2 Matajis came to the Harrisburg program. So that's as far as I'm going to talk about it. Who the Matajis are. And one of them had read Bhagavad Gita by Mahatma Gandhi. And they loved it. Right? Now, what do we have? Bhagavad Gita by Srila Prabhupada. Okay? So, and IWH gives these out. Okay? So this is Prasadam time at the Hari Temple. Again, I'm not going to mention any names. I was sitting at the table. They were sitting across from me, 2 Matajis, and then there were other people. I won't even tell what gender because I don't know anything. But the Bhagavad Gita was given to, there were 2 of them, both of them, one African American and one white, given to both of them. And the one that was African American, the one that said that they had read the Bhagavad Gita by Mahatma Gandhi. And then the response to this devotee to him is that the Bhagavad Gita by Mahatma Gandhi doesn't compare at all to Srila Prabhupada. So you need to read Srila Prabhupada, then you really understand Bhagavad Gita. Now, it doesn't sound like a bad statement to me, right? But the way it came across, actually, it was said stronger than the way I said it. It was even stronger than that, right? So this person's face changes, right? And then the one that said that left to go get some more prasadam. And as soon as this person left, I'm not telling the gender, this person left, this Mataji started talking. I think I learned a lot, I'm paraphrasing, but basically I think I learned a lot from Mahatma Gandhi's Bhagavad Gita, and I don't understand why this person is putting me down like that. Okay. And to cut a long story short, that was the last time he showed up. They took the Bhagavad Gita, but they never returned. Okay. Because the way in which the statement came, they were just kind of putting down. And that was very precious to this person who was coming. And we say that Bhagavad Gita, so she wanted to have some kind of link with what we do. Oh, yeah, I know about Mahatma Gandhi and so on. So you got to be really careful. Anything that's precious to the person who's speaking, even though it may not be according to what our rules are, do not just strike that down right away. No. It's just, you should do the opposite. So actually praise them that they do that. Okay? Then they're willing to hear, willing to hear. There's one devotee called Mother Rukmini, Anutama Prabhu's wife. Yeah. She is expert. Anybody who talks to any new devotee in Krishna consciousness, usually she knows how to choose her words and to just check your background. She's an expert at doing it. So if she's around, you got somebody new, grab her. Let her talk, because that person will become a devotee. She's very, very good at it. Yeah, you can learn. Anyway. So
actually, I want to tell one thing. When we did the Earth Day event, a couple of devotees visitors were coming, and one person straight asked, is it about religion? So what is the answer we should give? Like if we would have said a religion, yes, then he would just go away, and then he's already in a different religion, he don't want to listen to us. So there were some, we do not have to say them straight.
When he says religion?
Yeah, they were asking, is it about the religion? Because we were spreading the Krishna consciousness about, vegetarian and be vegan and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So, but then we started explaining, no, it is about, Prabhupada's books and be vegetarian, what are the benefits, and what is Bhakti Yoga.
Yeah.
And then we started explaining, and then we slowly went into the chanting.
Okay.
If we would have straight said to everyone.
You didn't answer directly that yes or no whether it was religion.
Yeah.
That was smart.
I mean, it happened.
Go ahead.
It happened once actually. One devotee came and we straight said, okay, yes. And then he straight went away actually. And then
So you learned.
Me and Karthik Prabhu said, Karthik, we're looking at our face. Prabhuji, we did a big mistake. We should not have said it.
Yeah, you never know what people would think when you say, yes, this is about religion. So you did the right thing. If you had, because it depends on the setting, very much it depends on the setting, what you have and what you're putting out. Because when my spiritual master got some of us interested, most of us were actually worshiping God through religion. So then he mentioned that because he knew what our backgrounds were. He mentioned that. But then he took us to a higher level because Bhakti Gita is transcendental. Okay? It was much later that he said that Krishna consciousness starts where religion stops. So he's not putting religion down. He says, when you come, you're going to hear more. You're going to hear more. Yeah, so it very much depends on the situation. And, you don't feel bad that the other person left when it's about, you learn from it, true enough, but also there are no, when you're serving, there are ultimately no real mistakes, and you want to make sure that you get as many people, because that's what Krishna wants, many people to be interested in Krishna consciousness, and sometimes it's the vegetarianism that actually works. So it all depends. There's 4 types of people that come in. We can expand on that even more. But anyway, let's get back to this. So we continue with persons who have spent years, in the Christian consciousness movement. You found where it is?
Yeah.
Okay. Persons who have spent years in the Christian consciousness movement but who have remained materially attached may also be less advanced devotees. Persons who spend years but still materially attached. Because materialism is what keeps us from moving forward. Okay? It doesn't mean we shouldn't have material things, it's just that we should be using it in serving Krishna. That's all that's important. Okay? A Vaishnava shows mercy by taking time to counsel and give relevant instructions, and by making plans whereby the lesser devotees may engage in devotional service, thereby tasting the nectar of Krishna consciousness. Again, when you're doing this, you have to be, first of all, people are quite experienced. This, Manoj, what you just talked about, that somebody asked whether it's religion, and the second time you knew not to bring up religion, you talked about something different. This same Prabhu that I was talking about, his wife is Mother Rukmini, Anutama Prabhu himself. We were taught, we means at that time there were meetings held, temple presidents and other managers and so on, this kind. With the press especially, when the press asks a question, the journalists ask a question, that sometimes we have to sidestep the question. Just like, is this about God? You have to sidestep it because we have the feeling that he's going to try to corner you. Then you don't get to the points, but you do exactly what you did. Bring out the things about vegetarianism, whatever's in front of you, talk about that first. Because actually, through prasadam, people do in fact come to Krishna consciousness. A lot of people can come to Krishna consciousness through prasadam. So talking about vegetarianism is not wrong at all, because this is what we do. This is our eating habits. Okay, so thereby tasting the nectar of Krishna consciousness. Are we at the end? No. Showing mercy to others. This is a fairly long one. Okay. I have to read through this. Showing mercy to others is sometimes not an easy thing. If we give a thief the mercy of good moral instruction, he will become angry with us. Because you're going to tell him not to steal, right? And one must be competent to tactfully and intelligently extend mercy to lesser devotees. So that's what said Mother Rukmini is an expert at doing this. Giving mercy cannot be someone's concoction and cannot be done with the motivation to become praised and worshipped by lesser devotees. You see, sometimes people say, well, you don't know and I know, therefore I'm going to really show how much I know to do that. Yeah, then it's all now more to passion, not more to goodness at all. A devotee should remain humble and fixed in Krishna conscious principles, and then he will be competent to give the mercy of his good example to others. You see, this is not even about talking, his good example, what he does. If one behaves ideally, He will give mercy to everyone without any extraneous effort. See, then this is true. This is true. Adults not just hear what you say. They don't just hear what you say, they hear what you do. They hear what you do. So you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do this. All right. Well, the next time it happens to you, we'll see if you will go by what you said should not be done, it should be done. Yeah, that can't happen. All right. Relationship to the innocent non-devotees. A pure devotee has a naturally friendly behavior, disposition. He is not prone to cause anyone anxiety by words or even by ill thoughts. He forgives the wrongs of others. When this mood is combined with the understanding that the non-devotees are suffering and preparing themselves for more suffering, it's okay. So, when this mood is combined with the understanding, the mood of friendly disposition, not causing anxiety, not even by ill thoughts, forgiving the wrongs of others, this is combined with the understanding that the non-devotees are suffering, okay, they're suffering in the material world, and preparing themselves for more suffering. That is, life after life, there will be more, situations they'll deal with next birth and so on. The devotee's compassion is activated, and he wants to render service to the fallen souls. Out of compassion, the preacher approaches and tries to deliver all sinful persons. The devotee is not satisfied with his own salvation. He is anxious for the welfare of others. This attitude is inspired by Krishna himself, who, as the well-wishing father of all living entities, wants everyone to give up their suffering and return to him. So, important point here, and I know my spiritual master stressed this sometimes. He says, if you want to grow quickly in Krishna consciousness, help others to grow in Krishna consciousness. This is exactly what's mentioned here. He's anxious for the welfare of others. Okay? So, avoiding the association of the atheists. When Lord Chaitanya was asked by a householder devotee, what behavior of a devotee should be, what kind of behavior? Then he immediately replied, Asat Sangha Tyag Avaishtava Acharya Sri Sangi Eka Asadu Krishna Bhaktara. The Vaishnava should always avoid the association of ordinary people. Common people are very materially attached, especially to women. Vaishnavas should also avoid the company of those who are not devotees of the Lord. Now, so when we go to work, the people around us, many of them, if not all of them, are non-devotees. That's just a necessary thing to do, to relate to them. But it doesn't mean you hang out with them. When it comes to socially and so on, if the company requires that you be there for a particular function, it's social, but there are other things being discussed among the company, then you have the duty to go. But other than that, let's go hang out, this, that, and so on, weekends and that's not for you, because you don't owe them that. Because you stay away and then be among devotees so you can, because we're trying to get out of the material world. Okay, so association is all important. As the company of the Mahatmas can open the door to liberation, so the company of degraded materialists can drag an aspiring devotee into ignorance. Okay, it's one thing. Those who are devotees, they can help you to be more into Krishna consciousness. And those who are materialists will talk about material things and keep you away. Persons fond of enjoying illicit sex and persons opposed to God consciousness destroy by the association the purity of Vaishnava behavior. It is no wonder, therefore, that the devotee does not enjoy such association. And Lord Chaitanya says, don't associate with those kind of people. All right, so we are at the question section. First, discovery. Name the 3 levels of devotees and describe the characteristics of each stage. Okay, so that's a loaded question, especially the second part. Name the 3 levels.
Kanishta.
Yeah, Kanishta, Madhyam, and Uttama. Okay. There was something I wanted to say about the Uttama devotee. Radha Swami described it so wonderfully, but we're the question section, so we'll see. Describe the characteristic of each stage. Oh, I guess I can talk about that here when it comes to Uttama. So what's the Kanishta Adhikari? They started with the negative things.
Yeah. Those who believe in God but still are attached to material world.
Okay, it's materialistic devotee. Okay. What else?
As we are.
Where does she see God?
The deities only.
Yeah,
On the
that's
deities in the
really-
temple only. Okay, all right.
And they don't think like all the living persons they have Krishna.
Yeah.
They don't respect. Yeah, they don't.
They don't respect senior devotees, the advanced devotees, you said, advanced devotees. And that's interesting. I'll tell you something about senior in a minute. But they don't respect advanced devotees, and they don't say the word, the Lord is in the heart of every living entity. They don't look at it that way. So this is kind of controversial, but it was said by my guru, so I'm going to repeat that. He made a distinction between senior devotees and advanced devotees. And it's been made here also, in this. Somewhere in this, it mentioned that somebody has been in the movement for years, but they're still materially attached. See, that's not an advanced devotee. They've been here just years. So then he's saying that if somebody's been in a long time, devotees tend to say he's a senior devotee. But is he advanced? And that's the difference. If a person is very, very, very materialistically inclined, then they're not advanced. They're not. You should still honor them. You should still respect the chanting Hare Krishna mantra, and purification will in fact occur at some point. But they themselves are so much attached to materialism that they're dragging the whole process of growth year after year after year after year. So an advanced devotee may be, only a few years. But still, they came, they were very greedy, they were very, very sold out, they had a very, very, very good level of faith, and they grew quickly. That's an advanced devotee. It has to do with number of years, no. So,
Prabhuji, I have a question.
yeah.
Like people who are not in Gaudiya Sampradaya, Vaishnava Sampradaya, and they are not chanting like 16 rounds, or they are maybe not even chanting like 4 rounds also, because they have not been told to chant Maha Mantra or different kind of mantra these many times. I mean, they are serving Lord for many years. I mean, on what scale they are compared as a senior devotee or they are advanced devotee?
Well, I'll tell you, now you're going to know how Kanishta I am in answering this question. What I know is that in Kali Yuga, the chanting is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In other yugas, there were different mantras. Some Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya was in a different yuga. Also chanting. So, from a Kanishta standpoint, I play safe. Right? If the person is not chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, I know not to get too close to him. Because this is the age that that particular mantra is chanted. Different ages have different mantras. And different activities also. Okay? And so, you honor the person, but I won't put them in a category. Because I don't really know what category to put the person in. All I know is, in the age, this age, Lord Chaitanya says, you chant the Hare Krishna mantra. So I'll get closer to the person if they are chanting Hare Krishna mantra. But if they are not, I'll be careful. I'll be honoring them, but I'll be careful. Okay, and this is how I answer it. Sometimes you have to play safe. Sometimes you have to play safe. A person that's chanting Hare Krishna mantra, especially in this age, that is the Yugadam. So if they're doing it, then they're definitely going, whatever sampradaya they're in the different sampradayas is true, but they're going according to what must be, and you're scratching your head about what to do.
No, my other question is, let's say all our relatives,
Mhm.
I mean, they are not in this process. I mean, they are
Okay.
still serving Lord.
Yeah.
I mean, does that mean if I meet them, like I'm going to be very careful, or
Okay. That's a good point. Desha Kalapatra. Time, place, and circumstance. Time, place, and circumstance. Sometimes we do things differently if we're with family members because of what they do. And if you do with them so that you don't stand out or just come across like you're putting them down, which you shouldn't do, right? So you just work at the time they're doing whatever the puja it is they're doing. You go along with them. See, sometimes, and I've been put in situations like that, right? Because my family, they are Christian. And so, time to go to church, if I go visit, they want to go to church, you go to church. I would listen, I'll be bored like anything because the preacher is not, whatever they say is so important, but what I feel is they never end it properly because they don't really know that there's more to what they're saying. Practically every sentence is more to what they're saying, but they don't know it themselves, right? So I'm only half listening, and the rest of the time I'm chanting in my head the whole time. I'm not really paying that much attention to it. Yeah, so, but they don't know that I'm chanting. My family members don't know I'm chanting. So we've just been through it and been out, and been out of the church, and we just go on. So you have to be smart about how never disrespect, because then it goes against the Prabhupada. You were entering properly then. That's how it's going to come across. But at the same time, you should know what to do and what not to. And in those times when you're with them, because you're not with them all the time. Is that correct? You're not with them all the time?
Yeah.
His relatives?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But at the times that you go, because it's the same thing, mine in Connecticut also. And I go there, then there's a different story, you know. They have their chicken and everything, and it is, you know, so we have our cooler, and we have our stuff in it. And so my sister is determined not to change, so what to do. So, again, so we call it in this kind of called time, place, and circumstance. The time, where you are, and what they're doing. Okay, as best to do fit. But certain things, of course, we don't cross. If they want to give you meat, the answer is no. I'm vegetarian. I don't eat that. Okay, yeah, but if they're doing mantra, they're singing some songs. Fine, be careful. If they're singing about demigods, it's not that because demigods can always be appealed to for bhakti. They are also in the Krishna consciousness. Don't ask Lord Shiva for material things when Krishna can give you so much more. But ask for bhakti from him. They may be playing for material things, and you just pray to Lord Shiva for bhakti. So, again, it all depends on how, good point you brought up on this. So describe the characteristics. Oh, any other questions? Describe the characteristics. We've done the Kanishta Adhikar. So we have Madhyam and Uttama. So what's Madhyam? Initiated. You have good memory. Initiated and following principles, yeah. Serve in the spiritual master. Okay. And anything else? You didn't say too much about Madhyam.
He's engaged in the transcendental service
Yes.
of God.
Yeah. Which means serving the devotees also, because spiritual master is to serve the devotees also. Uttama, first class? Definitely initiated. You didn't mention that, but Uttama is usually initiated.
You respect others also.
Yeah. They do what?
Doing 16 rounds
10, 16 rounds and
and following all the
follow, yeah, those two go together.
And,
They follow it strictly.
Spreading Krishna consciousness message, like.
Yep,
doing
coming
some
up with
activity.
plans to expand the movement.
Yep.
That's first class. That's first class. They see, and you go in some parts of Shastra, they say they see Krishna in everything.
Yeah.
That's first class also. They see Krishna in everything. They see. And this is what Anand Maharaj explained about it. And he gave an analogy. He said, suppose you're a parent, okay, most of you are, and your little child comes to you with a picture that he's drawn. And you know how kids draw, right? Not the greatest art, unless they are an artist from previous life, they just can draw easily. Usually the regular kids don't know how to draw properly. But they have a picture. You love your child. You do the picture, he comes, he shows it to mommy or mommy shows it to daddy, and what would you normally do?
Good job.
Good job, yeah, you will actually encourage. Now, a person who is not a parent of that child may see the picture and say, what kind of picture is this? You don't have anything to do with it. But you have a connection with that child in love. Therefore, you appreciate even what doesn't seem so good. This is the position of Uttamadhikari. Not everything in the material world we like. Do we like the storms? No. Do we like a hurricane? No. But who made them? Krishna. So even what's not so great, when the first class, the Uttamadhikari sees that, he remembers Krishna. Because it's connected to Krishna, then he accepts. Everything reminds him of Krishna. And Maharaj took this picture, one that somebody that's not connected to that particular child would immediately discard it, but the parent says because there's love, so the Uttamadhikari is in love with Krishna, so everything about Krishna, whether it helps or gives problems, he still sees Krishna in all of that and appreciates it. That's that level of thinking. Yeah, that's the analogy that he made.
On that note, I was listening to a lecture today from Professor Lyasi. So somebody asked him a question, Maharaj, how will you, what will you say with whatever happened with the earthquakes and a lot of people died? So he was very, very relaxed. He said, made by Krishna, if you want to kill, he can kill it, So same thing, like he was seeing just Krishna's mercy everywhere, no matter what it is.
And it depends on how people take it, though.
Right.
So it's okay that Krishna has killed all these people in the past. Well, then I watched a movie and this came up. Now, among devotees will say this, but to those who are actually suffering, we should never sound insensitive to them. We should always be in a helpful mode, because that's what actually pushes Krishna consciousness forward. Because you see, devotees came and they helped, then they're good people, therefore what they connected is must also be good. Okay, yeah. But the bottom line does always say there is no mistakes by the transcendental system. That's just for among devotees only. There are no mistakes by the transcendental system. So people don't just die randomly, or there's always something attached to it. See, Maharaj Dhritarashtra, he was born in a palace, he was a firstborn, he was next to get the crown, but they bypassed him and gave to Maharaj Pandu because he was blind. And he was very, 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 very disturbed about that. Okay, when Pandu died, then, well, he was still blind, but they gave the crown to him then, right, to have him there. And so he wasn't so crazy about the situation he was in. He did ask Krishna, though. He asked Krishna, why was I born blind? Then Krishna told him, 50 lifetimes ago, you were a hunter. And you shot a flaming arrow with fire in front into a nest of birds. There were 100 little birds in there and a mother bird. The 100 birds all died. And the mother bird escaped. But the mother bird got blinded by the arrow. And so time is going, you come one lifetime after another lifetime. Now it's got to a point where the system is set up now where you have to pay back for what you did. So he had 100 sons, and they all died. He was the hunter that shot an arrow and killed 100 birds. And can you imagine this mother bird that's blind trying to fly, trying to land, all kinds of trouble, because they need their eyes like anything. So that's what and he didn't need the birds, he just shot it for fun, He didn't kill the birds. Mother bird, the little birds, 100 sons. Therefore, Krishna arranged for one person to kill all his 100 sons too, Bhima. Just like he killed 100. So all his sons were killed by one. So he had to keep quiet. What can you do? Until 50 lifetimes, that's what you did. So this is what you're paying back. So there's always some kind of connection there, but we always have to be very, very, very careful among where the trouble really is, like in Nepal now. Never to bring this thing up. We should help as best we can. And we can take advantage of the situation. If you're giving food, give prasada. Give prasada. Yeah. Yes.
So, Prabhuji, when Arjuna killed so many people, did ever the thought occur that if Arjuna is killing so many people 50 lakh times next birth,
Something will
Arjuna
happen to
will
him?
face some consequence of that killing?
The answer is absolutely not. No.
He was told by Krishna.
No, because Krishna was asking him to do it. He didn't want to do it. The whole beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, I don't want to. And all these men died, and their wives and their sisters and the men who died, there will be illicit activities, because women will go to other men, they will be unwanted children, all of that. He gave every reason why he shouldn't fight. And I'm going to Peter Mars on the other side? Bhishma is on the other side? No. Dronacharya taught these on the other side? Yeah, he came up with all reasons not to. But Krishna says, you sound intelligent, but you're not. This is in the next chapter. And he proceeded to explain that the soul doesn't die. This is a way to bring in this whole point. But yes, still the flesh was going to be killed. But he made it clear to Arjuna that he is the supreme. He is the beginning and end of everything. Therefore, if you go according to what Krishna says to do, then you were never wrong. Everybody that got killed by Arjuna got elevated. So Krishna was looking at the soul level, what they were going to get from leaving the body at that time. Of course, he was cleansing the earth of a lot of the demons too at the same time. This was happening. They needed to go. And there's no way to push the demons away and get rid of them like that. Okay, so that was going on. And Arjuna was a trained Kshatriya. And when soldiers fight, they don't incur karma like that. No, it's work. It's work. It's terrible, but it's work. Okay. And so the soldiers themselves, those in the Kurukshetra war, it's said that, of course, there were two opposing sides, right? Some soldiers were fighting for the Pandavas, some for the Kauravas, and at the end of each night of the 18 days, they'd be talking among each other like friends, and the next day they're on opposite sides, ready to kill each other. So it was work, really. It turns out it was work. But at that time, with Krishna being there, they were all fortunate because every soul got elevated. So this was a situation of Krishna's pastimes. It's a different category, and he came to do this. But those who are caught up in materialistic situations, well then, yeah, the karma does in fact play a role.
But you have it, just on the lines of what Deven Prabhu said, I'm not sure where I read this, but they say that these natural calamities, it's not man-made. It's obviously Krishna-made or conscious. That it is there to have the checks and balances that have been laid out.
Yeah.
Like whatever calamity, be it earthquake or tornado,
Yeah.
lives are lost. It's just to keep the system in check and balance because something has gone too far on adharma, and this is just a way to it. How much of truth is to that statement?
But see, listening to what you just said, that if this is to have checks and balances, actually it's more karma related. But even if it's for checks and balances, I would look at it from another angle. Doesn't that tell you how terrible the material world is?
That's what I was trying to
doesn't that tell you how terrible this world is that we live in? You're asking how much of it is true. These things that happen are more karma related, but they are related on different levels. They are related. There's individual karma, there's community karma, there's national karma, there's international karma, and there's interplanetary karma. So all of that's there. Okay? A nation will go through, now we're going to see, sometimes we see this, a nation will go through certain changes that will happen to, because I'm worried about Ghana, because the people, I'm from Ghana, and it's just, they're looking at national karma, but they don't even see it. Because most of them are religious. I know the devotees there can tell, right? So much bribery is there. So much corruption is there. And it's got to the point the politicians have done it. Now the ordinary man does it too. Right from the airport, when you land over there, you pay your bribe before you go through. So it's got to a point where they've accepted it, and that's where it's dangerous. Because they've accepted it, the whole nation will also go through, it's become a lifestyle. They know it's wrong, but everybody's doing it, therefore I'll do it. As soon as that happens, then the whole community or the nation that's doing that has karma to suffer. Okay? The United States has its karma. They become so liberal, the wrong things, even they are protecting the wrong things. American civil liberties. Because of that, things that we know is bad, but you can't stop somebody from expressing whatever they're free to express. But we know right from wrong. So there's payback for that. So, when that happens, there's warning that's given. Now, to get to the point, there's warning that's given. Krishna has good things and things that are calamities. We call them calamities. And it's not under his direct rule, it's under the demigod's rule. Okay? It's his creation, but they're the ones in control of it. Because he's allowed that to happen. And so, it's not really checks and balances as it is warnings that something is going wrong with the way we are relating to God consciousness. Not even just Christian consciousness, just general God consciousness. And when the people, now it's planetary karma I'm talking about, when the people are ignoring religion, serious religion, which is Sanatana Dharma, which is, the real Dharma, because this other one, they played it down, there's infiltration, all kinds of things is going on. And the basic principles of moral goodness, just moral goodness, is not being followed. I heard one short thing on YouTube, little 14, 15-year-old boys enjoying sex life with 20-year-old women and so on, and they say they like it very much. Now, of course, I'm hearing, who is going to stop these boys? You know the advice that they give the boys? Protect yourself. Use condoms. I'm going, what? Why should they be involved in the first place? Would they want to be fathers? You see, so the country is saying that it's not wrong. They're not pushing the fact that we need to abstain at that age, but they're saying that you should, and schools are giving out condoms, so the idea is not to get pregnant. Then where are we going? See, there's going to be payback. So as long as that's happening, then Krishna uses the demigods. Bring this problem, bring this problem, bring this problem. And a few of the priests in the different religions who see this, they say, God is actually showing his hand, warning this country, you're doing the wrong thing. And that is true. That can play to this checks and balances thing, but actually they're warnings. Because the Lord will warn and warn. He never really destroys without warning first. You look at the Shastras, always something. Something starts, somebody that's doing the wrong thing gets warned. Didn't the Dhritarashtra get warned so many times that should be fair to the Pandavas, and he wasn't, and finally he lost all, including Duryodhana, that he was going to be the next prince, so the next king. It gives more. It's like that. The weather doesn't interrupt like this. It doesn't, because it's controlled by the demigods. When there's more to goodness, that planet, life one day, it's almost heavenly. But once you change, then they throw these things in as warnings that something is going wrong. Unfortunately, this country is not paying attention. For the most part, not paying attention. But what to do? We just go on chanting Hare Krishna because we know that we don't belong here anyway. So when the devotee comes to understand properly, they're not afraid of death so much. We wonder about it, but not real fear is not there, especially when you think about Krishna. Okay, we've gone over 9 something. Whoa.
If any questions, we can continue. Otherwise,
we may have to stop here. Yeah.
Any questions? I mean, if you have questions, then it's fine. We can continue.
Okay. All right. There are 2 questions left here. Should we just tackle those and then stop?
Yeah.
Okay. I apologize. We just go on and on and on. Sometimes we don't realize how time is. We need to set a time next time. Stop. When? When do we start at 7:30? We stop at when? 9?
7:30 to 8:30.
8:30.
Yeah.
1 hour. Okay. All right. We have to set an alarm and stop. Describe how we should relate to each type of devotees.
We should be merciful to the Kanishta Adhikaris.
Yeah.
And we should be respectful to the Madhyama Adhikaris.
Mm-hmm.
And we should always be paying a
Serve the highest. Okay.
Yeah.
Who are less advanced devotees and how should we deal with them? There are 2 categories: those who are new and those who have been in a long time but still attached to material things. Okay. Of course, how should we deal with them? You can, in fact, begin to tell the new person about Krishna consciousness in general, what to do and so on. And the person that's been in there a long time but still attached to material, he takes an advanced devotee to give good counsel to that person. So apologize, please. Apologize for the time it's taken much longer.
It was beautiful.
And thank you. Yeah, we
There were a
just
lot of
kept our
questions.
conversation.
There were a lot of
Yeah,
questions.
that's going on. Shri Prabhupada ki
Jai.
jai.
Hare Prasade Govinde Namo Brahmane Vaishnave Kalpapunyavatam Rajan
Kalpunyavatam Rajana
Vishwasnave Jayate Sharira Abhidyaja Jodindriya Sahika Jivere Vishwasa Gune Naramata Divayati Lobar Moy Sudharmati Sakhi Jagare Samsare Krishna Gora Doyamoy Gori Gare Divajay Prasadam Dilo Bhai Se eat Amrita Pao Radha Krishna Guna Gao Prem Rakhi Chaitanya Nidai Jani Mai Jani Pai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Mahaprasadam ki
Shri Gaur Nitai ki Sai Gaur Sundar ki Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Now we can have all the questions. We can during the Prasadam time we can ask lot of questions. And Prabhuji is staying tonight, so he has all.